Whether you're moving overseas with your family, relocating employees on assignment, moving your organisation's workplace, or transporting and storing high-value art or information, logistics in the modern world is complex. Our new podcast brings you expert voices to share insight, discuss trends, and offer practical advice, all with a view to making it simpler for you to live, work, and do business anywhere in the world. I'm Matt, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to CrownCast. What a crazy year it's been. Over 4 billion people have cast votes in more than 70 countries, including the 10 most populous countries in the world, creating huge amounts of uncertainty politically. We've seen conflicts escalate, de-escalate, but rage on in key corners of the world. As a result, we've seen supply chain pressures and costs soar, particularly shipping costs, which peaked at $5,900 for a 40-foot container in July. They dropped back down sharply, but with rates still 3 times higher at the end of this year than they were at the start. So for context, the average cost of shipping a 40-foot container anywhere in the world in January was $2,670. It's now, in mid-December, $3,529. So we've seen huge fluctuations in the costs of shipping. We've seen inflation fall and interest rates follow. We've started to see the normalization of AI in a whole variety of settings. And it also feels like we felt the intensity and frequency of huge weather events just go up a notch or two as well. I'm going to be missing loads of things there for sure, but that really just shows how tough it's been to do business, to move anywhere, to think about how or where to invest, and even at times just to sort of live and navigate the cost of living. So to unpack all of that, good luck, guys. And to reflect on this year and to look ahead to next year, I'm delighted to be joined by the Crown Worldwide Group Board, Jennifer Harvey, the Group CEO, Shen, our CEO in Asia, and Barry Koolen, the Europe, Middle East and Africa CEO, each joining us from very different regions of the world today. Hello to you all. Thank you for making the time. Do you each feel ready for an end of year break? It's been busy, right?
I'm certainly looking forward to mine, Matt. I can tell you that it's been a really, really busy year, but an exciting year too. And I think we've done lots. So but looking forward to the little break over Christmas for sure.
Excellent. So we're going to start today by looking back at the year that's been a busy one, as you allude to there, Barry. I'm going to ask each of you, I think, to begin just to share a highlight of 2024. Shen, we'll come to you first, if that's okay.
Thanks, Matt. I have 2 short highlights that I want to share today. The first highlight that I would like to talk about is our investment in reducing carbon in a meaningful manner. In Asia, as an example, we introduced electric vehicles in 6 countries. We installed solar panels in many of our facilities. We changed LED lightings in warehouses and offices, and we also started renewal centers where we refurbish office furniture so that we can reuse and repurpose those furniture. We now have 2 of such centers in Asia, one in KL and one in Singapore, and more are in the pipeline in the new year. Another quick highlight is a recent acquisition that we did in Singapore. iDesign is a boutique design and build business that will complement our workspace business in Singapore. We now have a vertically integrated solution that offers award-winning architectural design for office and retail space. We also have renewal for office furniture through to office moving and installation and de-installation of IT equipment and office furniture. So those are, the suite of services that we have started to push more in Singapore with the introduction of iDesign.
Super. Yeah, I'd just take you back to your first highlight there, Shen. I guess, Barry, Jennifer, that sort of decarbonisation stuff, it is something that would probably figure in among other highlights of yours as well, right? It's been a great year from that perspective. We've made some really good progress in our sort of strategic approach to that.
Yeah, and it's not as easy as one may think if you're sitting in a country that has very developed legislation around this. Some countries do things so differently that it requires a lot of creativity to figure out how to solve those goals, those carbon reduction goals. So yeah, I'm very proud of our team in these far-flung locations for figuring out how to make it work in their own markets.
And I think one of the highlights around sustainability I'm very proud of in this last year is our ability really to get our arms around the entire carbon footprint for the group. I mean, we've been able to do this in pockets in the past, but, we're a global organization where in 45 countries, we have 5 core business units. And for us to kind of get a bit of a handle on our carbon footprint globally is a real kind of starting point for driving our global program forward has always been a challenge. And so the implementation of this new carbon accounting tool has really allowed us to do that. And we've got all the data and tools now that we need to start to really make an impact on reducing our footprint for doing all the things that Shen's mentioned in Asia and other things.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shen, you touched on workspace and iDesign and the acquisition there, and then some of the sort of more sustainability focused service solutions that are being developed in the markets that you're responsible for. What are we seeing there in terms of challenges around return to the office and the change of the workspace generally, and what role are iDesign and our workspace business generally playing in Asia in respect of those challenges?
Yeah, the work from home policy for many of our clients have helped us to generate businesses in the sense that some offices had to be redesigned or scaled down. And post-COVID, we've also seen offices taking up more space as employees start returning to the office then. So we've had, opportunities to help our customers to downsize and now in certain places upsize as well. And also the configuration of the office has also changed a little bit with millennials going into the workforce. We are now being asked to redesign an office that's more adaptive to the way millennials work then. So, in many ways, our design is actually stepping up and providing a lot of the solutions for a lot of our corporates as well.
Then. Yeah, and to that, I would add that the hybrid and remote working that's far more prevalent globally has really led to a greater need for digitizing company information. And so that's been a real opportunity for us, is to help clients to figure out how to better share the information their employees need to do their work. And we've been really well placed to solve that for them.
Yeah, and I think I'd just add by saying that Shen referenced some of the Renew Centre activity that's going on in Asia, and of course we've got our spots around the EMEA region too, and that's, I think, playing nicely into the whole sustainability game, where our customers now are really requiring a kind of a certain percentage of furniture when they're refurbishing an office to be sustainably sourced, and we're very well placed to do that with our Renew Centres to be able to supply a really high quality product relative to recycled and refurbished furniture. So we're seeing high demand in that area too, and helping support our clients reduce their carbon footprint relative to our workspace effort.
Yeah, I think the circular economy offers huge opportunities for organisations that are embarking upon workplace change projects to do them with one eye on their net zero strategies and their sustainability goals as well. Absolutely. Jennifer, I'm going to come to you next. Your highlight for 2024.
Mine is far more broad in that I'm so proud of the company, because in some ways I see 2024 as the year we finally have successfully pivoted. And by that, I mean that in our heritage business, which is all services around moving individuals, either mostly for work, but for other reasons too, we saw an accelerated downturn in 2023, largely due to macro global external factors, things like technology, work from home policies, companies under pressure from high interest rates needing to spend less money. this moving services was such a huge part of our corporate identity and our business model that the idea that we would change was so uncomfortable to many of us. But in 2024, I feel like we finally have shone a spotlight on that downturn in our heritage business, and we really started to do something about it, reallocating resources and leadership, asking them to focus on growing those new businesses and encouraging kind of that diversity that is going to make us more resilient longer term in a turbulent business environment. And we also, I think, more proactively communicated internally and externally on who we wanted to become. And as a result, as we approach the end of this year, we see multiple proofs of concept around the globe of our businesses that have this much more healthier and more promising business mix. So I think, to me, it's just really exciting to see that we have segments where we see growth again, and it's opening up the company's perspective on what's possible for us. That's what I'm most delighted about in 2024.
I think the thing I could add there, Jenny, would be in the Europe, Middle East and Africa region, our strongest performing businesses are those which are the most diverse. So those businesses that are able to withstand, the economic pressures or all of those things that are going on in the world today are those who have multiple parts to the business, and I think it can only be a positive thing for the company.
Yeah, I think in many ways, 2024 had been a bit of a learning year for us. Jennifer did speak a little bit about, the uncertainties that came about as a result of geopolitical tensions, stubbornly high interest rates, and high inflation. And to be successful in such an environment, we learned that we need to be nimble and flexible in the ever-changing business landscape. She did say a little bit about innovation, and very quickly we introduced innovative solutions this year, from digital workflow solutions to our records management clients, to office furniture renewal centers, sustainable packaging materials, and even new energy transportation as well. And so those are all the new stuff that we have introduced from a business point of view, and also from sustainability point of view, in order to ensure that the business remains sustainable in the years to come.
I don't envisage that will be the last time on this episode that we talk about diversification and innovation, so we'll come back to that. But Barry, just moving on to you, a highlight from 2024.
Yeah, I think there's been many, but the one I'd single out, I think, really would be the resilience and performance of our people in really challenging circumstances. At the start of this podcast, you kind of called out a few of those. It's a world that's changing, and we owe the success of the company to really how our people react to those changing environments. And I think we've got a hugely resilient workforce. Just look at some of our employee engagement survey results in 2024. We had a 90% response rate right across the company. I think that's almost unheard of in terms of getting people to participate, especially on the basis too, as many of our workers are mobile workers or remote workers, so it's not always easy for them to be able to complete the survey itself. So that was a huge highlight. And of those 90% who responded, 84% of those would recommend Crown as a good place to work. And so, it says that we are creating an environment where people can thrive, can have their say, can really make an impact. And I think we can all be very, very proud of that. And of all of the stats, where our people said that we're doing the right things, the highest rated area is around this area of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I think we're a very welcoming company. We're a very inclusive company. We make people welcome. They feel they can be themselves when they come to work, and I think that's a tremendous asset for our company for the long term, but also speaks volumes for the work we do for our clients.
Great, thank you, Barry. Jennifer, it's your first full year as CEO, the first full year of the board in this setup. How have you found it?
Well, I think anytime that there's a change in a board, that there's a little bit of settling, figuring out what role each person plays, and it's been great. I don't know what I would have done without the support of the other board members. They're highly experienced, both really get in and get things done in their region, and I'm so appreciative to work with them. We have healthy debates and disagreements, but one thing I've seen happen over the course of 2024 is just this tremendous board alignment, which I think has come from some added transparency. And one very exciting thing is that for the first time in a long time, many, many years, we've added a new member to our executive board, and that is Warren Ellsworth, who's our newly appointed group CFO as of kind of the midpoint of the year. And he comes with not only experience in our industry from a very successful sister company, but he also comes with external experience, which has been so valuable for us. And in particular, what he's brought to the board, or he's bringing to the board and will add during the course of 2025, is a real passion for using technology and much more proactive performance management. And what both of those things are going to do for us as a company is help us to deliver the best possible experience, not only for our customers, but also for our employees. So we had our first meeting face-to-face, which included Warren just this month in December. And it was such a good group. It was great to have 4 instead of 3. And it's really we complement each other well. So yeah, very excited from that perspective for 2025.
Fantastic. What exciting news. That's great to hear. So let's move now to have a think about what each of you have learned in 2024. Jennifer, I'm going to invite you to share with us first.
Yeah, well, there's a really good segue from what Barry just said, because when I reflected on what I have learned, maybe more than anything else in 2024, is that I've learned more than ever in the power of building trust. And that's because we've talked a lot about how things are changing so rapidly, but when things are changing that rapidly, as they have been for Crown and its customers, it's easy to respond by taking a more centralized and controlling approach. I think it's almost like a natural instinct, right? That if during challenging times to try to get a grip on everything really tightly. However, what I've learned this year is that if you build trust with your team, that's when they'll take more ownership and accountability. And that's when they'll take initiative to treat the company as their own. And the way this has played out in 2024 are in areas of new business growth and managers taking it upon themselves to build in these new areas. And what I think is particularly exciting, to share their knowledge with each other. We've had multiple senior managers reach out to counterparts elsewhere in the Crown organization to learn more about what they've done that's different and that's more successful, so that they can learn from it and apply these successes in their own markets. I don't believe that any of this would have happened if we didn't give them the space and the trust to do this. And they did this in many, many cases without us asking them to. And to me, that's just a huge learning, is that if you trust people, that's when they're going to be at their best. And the connection to what Barry just said is I think that there could be a direct correlation between the fact that that was happening around the organization and our high employee engagement results.
Yeah, Jennifer, perfectly put. Thank you very much. Barry, what about you? What's a learning from the year for you?
Many, but I think the one I'd like to single out would be, in this ever-changing world, with all the things that we've noted so far, it's even more important that we do a better job of listening to our clients and really taking what they say and building it into our future roadmaps in terms of how we develop technology and how we develop our customer service programs and all of those sorts of things. We're delighted that we're launching actually new programs around customer satisfaction and innovation for all of our businesses next year. So we're taking the learnings from parts of our business and implementing them in the new and growing businesses, and that will help us create benchmarks for customer satisfaction and more kind of formal programs around the way we listen to our clients going forward. And then, of course, having done that, it's really how we take what we've learnt from what our customers have to say and build them into future service offerings and how we can deliver service even better going forward. So the big watch out for me in terms of what we've learnt that we can take into next year is around really listening even more closely to what our customers have to say.
Yeah, and to me, what I've learned in 2024 was that technology plays a very key part in many aspects of businesses. One of the major push that we're doing across the whole group actually is introducing digital business practices to many of our corporates. And this technology uses software that we develop and design ourselves, and also software that we buy through external sources as well. Then, on top of that, through technology, we are also looking at introducing AI into some aspects of businesses, especially in businesses where FAQs, we're really trying to look to see how AI can play a role to make it simpler for our customers to search for information and maybe learn about different aspects of businesses as well. Then. So to me, that the tech part was something that was pretty new and something that was looking even more important going into 2025 as well.
Yeah, I think that's such a nice link, Shen, isn't it, between us developing more digital solutions for our information and records management customers, really listening to what they have to say, but also leveraging our experience for delivering our records management solutions to our clients in hard copy format and using that experience to develop new solutions on the digital information management side. So it's a kind of a nice link between developing technology solutions, but also furthering our diversification efforts and putting the company on a healthier platform, I think, as a result.
Yeah, human-centric technology that is informed by our people, by our customers. Jennifer, is there anything you'd want to add?
Yeah, it's we're in a very interesting intersection of we have the need to be cutting edge and offering our customers what they want in terms of technology, but we're also a service business. And I don't know about other people, but I think I'm in the norm in that I don't want to move to another country and have to deal with AI the entire time. I want to speak to a person because it's a huge undertaking. And I think that's true for a lot of the transformational processes we help clients through. So we have this really interesting opportunity to find the right balance between technology and our human-centric culture. So I'm kind of looking forward to how that plays out in the coming year.
$2025 then. 2024 has been a year of ups and downs, of course. But as we go into the next year, what are you kind of mindful of? What predictions have you got? Are there any emerging themes or challenges? And Barry, perhaps I'll come to you first for this one.
We've been hopeful for some time that global economic indicators will pick up, haven't we? And we thought they may have done so by now. And some of the things that you referenced earlier about high interest rates, high inflation, they're not really, positive business, doesn't create really a positive business environment. And we've been hoping for some time those indicators would start to ease, and they have done a little bit for sure. So the sooner they start to shift more positively towards positive outcomes for our clients, I think the better. So and in particular, in reference to our relocation business, I believe our relocation business has if you want to say, suffered the most from the economic downturns and those indicators that we're seeing. So high interest rates, means that properties aren't selling as quickly as they could, and companies aren't investing globally and expanding and all those sorts of things. There's more reticence to do that. So we're certainly hoping for our relocation business that those global economic indicators start to ease and create a more positive environment. So I think in that environment, I think it's even more important that we track what I would call our leading indicators in our business. So the leads coming into the business, the orders that customers are placing with us. We're going to be right on the ball to make sure we're agile and can meet the needs of the markets as they are changing. So that would be the thing that I'm very mindful of going into 2025.
It does look like some of those signs are just starting to improve. Hopefully that continues. Shen, anything that you're mindful of as we go into 2025?
Yeah, I think next year will remain to be an interesting year for us here in Asia with geopolitical tensions and whatnot. But having said that, we plan to refine and expand our digital proposition in the marketplace. And we also plan to introduce our capabilities in e-commerce and hotel logistics as well. Then, right, we're going to start this in Hong Kong and in China and see how this will take hold before we grow even further within the region. And next year, 2025, will also be a year where we will have a number of industrial property acquisitions or developments. Some of these are ongoing and some are being planned. At present, we will have approximately 6 countries with projects ongoing, and with values approaching close to about $100 million just within the Asia region itself. So yeah, those are the things that I'm kind of hopeful that will turn out right for us for next year.
It sounds like there's an awful lot to be excited about there, whether you're working for Crown or whether you're a customer or a future customer. That sounds fantastic.
And just to kind of re-emphasize, one of the things that Shen was just talking about is that our property portfolio, because it continues to appreciate. In fact, the latest I heard was that we're approaching $1.4 billion in the value of the global property portfolio. In 2025, we're being more deliberate about centering our business model on that very, very valuable set of assets for the company, and making decisions based on what will allow us to continue to build value in that, whether that be developing additional storage service lines or finding other ways to get great ROI so that we can continue to reinvest. The other thing, Shen, that you said that I really enjoy is talking about the pivot from our heritage, moving of individuals internationally to putting our resources towards things like hotel logistics, because due to macroeconomic factors, there's a little bit fewer people moving internationally, but travel is alive and well, right? So especially, in certain parts of the Asia market where we're seeing a strong downturn in moving, we have the resources to support that growing business. And it's because we're paying attention to what's happening in the market that we have the opportunity to pursue that now in 2025 in a more aggressive way. If I think about what I'm thinking about for 2025, we've all referenced the uncertainty in the market, but one thing that you hear talked about is that 2024 was very chaotic because there were so many elections all over the world, new leaders being appointed. And while that's behind us, and in some cases, for example, in the United States, there's an expectation that policies will be pro-business, which is good for our clients. But on the other hand, global trade wars are not good for our clients. So I think that more than ever, while in 2024 we learned that listening to our clients is important, I think that we have to be hyper-focused on what's happening with our clients, because nobody knows the impact of all these new leaders around the world. Similarly, there are other things that are expected to disrupt things for our clients, such as multiple new compliance requirements that are coming out around things like data security. They're coming to fruition around the world, and all these things present challenges to our clients, but also opportunities for Crown to make it simpler for them. But that's not going to happen if we just keep doing what we've always done. It's only going to happen if we are asking the right questions and really listening to what challenges they face, then taking that solutions-oriented approach to give them what they need to get to where they need to go. So while we're increasingly in complex technical spaces like digital information management to complement our hard copy storage, or refurbishment of office assets to complement our workplace logistics, we're servicing people in this time of rapid change, and we want to be listening carefully to them and making it simpler for them to navigate these really complex situations. We have a series of initiatives to mark what next year is our 60th anniversary as a company, and they are centered around giving our employees the time and opportunity to reflect on what they know about what's happening with the customer, and really helping Crown to deliver even better solutions. And what I think I'm most looking forward to, based on my earlier comment about trusting our people, is trusting them to use those opportunities to put their experience and knowledge into this quest to really make it simpler for our customers in 2025.
Yeah, you touched on it on a few occasions there, Jennifer, in the end, but really honing in on the purpose of our organization, right, is going to be so important. There's so much complexity. This year's been complex. The fallout from this year that sort of falls into next is going to create complexity, but there's an opportunity, isn't there, for us to hone in on providing simple solutions, focusing in on the needs of the customer, and as you say, utilizing some of those initiatives and tools that are coming down the track, which are really exciting around innovation, and all in a kind of honor of our 60th anniversary, which it is really something to be looking forward to next year.
I mean, Ginny touched on our purpose, which is making it simpler. It's just what we do, isn't it? It's our mindset. It's the way we approach things, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that in this complex world as we go into 2025.
I'm really excited about the 60th anniversary celebration, because not many corporations make it to the 60th anniversary, and for a privately held company like us doing that is a big deal, and especially we are a strong, financially healthy company, and we continue to grow in many parts of the world as well, and in many of our businesses as well. So I'm really looking forward to celebrating that with many of our employees and staff, and meeting our customers as well.
And the interesting thing is we seem to in some ways be making like a full circle, in that we started as an entrepreneurial company. It was like a small startup in a rapidly growing environment in 1965 in Japan. And as we come around to our 60th anniversary, we're in a world that's changing so rapidly. I dare say more rapidly than ever before. And that's creating, if we think about it the right way, it's creating all sorts of new opportunities for us. And so that's really giving us that chance to go back to our roots and be entrepreneurial. And I think that our employees are really embracing that and enjoying that renewed look at entrepreneurialism.
Fantastic. What a great way to end. Jennifer, Shen, Barry, thanks so much for your time. Here's to a great 2025.